The video you're about to see was shot on Apexel 22x telephoto lens together with the 2x telephoto lens. No cinema camera, no expensive setup, just vision. Let me show you guys. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how we shot this music visualizer, the gear we used, how the 22x changed everything, and whether this smartphone lens is actually worth it for filmmakers. If you are new here, my name is Ebenezer Akidumade from EDB Pictures. We focus on cinematic filmmaking using smartphones because we believe storytelling is more powerful than gear. Alright, so let's start with what we used. The camera was the Google Pixel 3XL, and yes, it's not the latest smartphone. And so we paired it with the Apexel 22x telephoto lens. We shot using the app called Filmmaking Pro, just for us to have more control over our settings. Frame rate wise, we shot it on 30 frames per second. I would have shot it in 24 frames per second because I noticed that 24 frames per second is always choppy on smartphones. So I see 30 frames per second as that sweet spot for smartphone filmmaking. This setup is simple, but the result doesn't look simple, of course. The 22x telephoto lens completely transformed the look of the visualizer. Number one is compression. When you use a telephoto lens, the background appears closer to the subject. It gives you that dramatic cinematic separation. It makes the artist pop from the background. Number two is background blur. Right? Even though smartphone sensors are small, the telephoto effect creates natural depth, especially when your subject is far from the background. Number three is emotion. This visualizer, we wanted something intimate, right? Something dramatic and something worshipful. 22x helped isolate the artist and make every expression feel stronger. If you look at the shot without the lens, this particular one we shot it using the 2x telephoto lens. That's around 50 mm thereabout. I put the actual number on the screen. You can see that I just put a kind of leaf in the front of the lens. That's how we were able to get that foreground blur, but the background was very dark sharp. Right, when we moved to 22x, you'll see that it changed the whole thing completely. The background was extremely blurry. Right, the frame feels tighter, more serious, more intentional. That's the difference the lens choice make. Okay, now the lens alone isn't the magic, right? There's so many things that we put in place to make the visual look very aesthetically pleasing. The most important part of the project was the lighting and also the color. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you would understand the fact that I'm very big on production design, because I knew that we're going to use greenery surrounding. So I told her to get a color that will complement that green. I gave her orange, I gave her yellow, and I gave her, I think I gave her white. I'm not quite sure. So I gave her those colors to work around, and she came up with that, and I approved it. So, and also I pre-planned the look of the visual before we went to the field to shoot. So I sent it to her and she liked it. Okay, let me be honest with you guys. This lens has flaws, all right? It's not 100% perfect. One of the flaws of this lens is stabilization. It doesn't come with stabilization, so you have to make use of tripod or you stabilize it in post. If you want to use it handheld, it will be very, very shaky, and you don't want that, all right? So that's one of the things you need to know about this lens. Second thing about this lens is that it's quite tricky to focus. You have to learn how to focus manually because it's a manual lens, of course. You have to learn how to focus. Once you have learned to focus on the lens, that makes you a pro already. The third thing about this lens is that you can't move too close to the subject. You need quite a number of space. You understand? Because it's a long lens. 22x telephoto lens, so it's a long lens. Also, at the edges of the lenses, there is a little bit of blur, alright? And it has chromatic aberration when you use the lens in high contrast scene. That for me is not a big deal. I love it because it gives that kind of vintage look to the video. You have to be intentional about the usage of this lens. You don't just use it, and get perfect results. You have to be intentional about it. This lens is powerful only when you understand how to use it. All right. Do I recommend this lens? Of course I do. I do recommend this lens, of course. So if you're into wildlife, if you're into portrait videography, this lens will come really handy. So at EDB Pictures, we believe cinema is not about expensive gears. It's about understanding lighting, understanding lenses, and understanding emotion. If you can master these three things, even smartphone become powerful in your hand. If this video helped you, kindly comment down below. Will you be using this lens? Will you be buying it? And also, will you be shooting a music video on smartphone? I'm curious, I want to know. So drop a comment down below. And if you want more breakdown like this, light setups, lens tests, and real world projects, kindly subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started. See you guys around. Bless up.